Just say my name. My name is Deja Brown,
and you're listening to
and you're listening to
the Open Mic
the Open Mic
Podcast.
Podcast. Pop podcast.
You're saying that part, don't you?
Uh huh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna comb my beard. No, no. Yeah. Oh yeah. What's up, y'all? I'm back. Oh yeah. And welcome to another Sunday episode of the Open Mic Radio podcast, 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 podcast. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of my radio podcast. I'm your host, Mike B. And for the next 30 minutes, I'll be talking to you about some yin yang twins. I'm not. I'll be talking about some jibber jabber. I'm not. Talk about some doodaddle and a doodaddle probably. So, not excited things are happening right now amongst the world. Some things are exciting, some things aren't. Not so much. Not so much so. Shout out to the Three Guys On podcast, to all of those listening to Three Guys On podcast. I made my return. I'm back on the Three Guys On podcast doing some doodaddle on the doodaddle. So there's some more doodaddling for y'all. Also, another episode recorded. I'm back again. Thank you all to the ones and twos that supported me throughout this whole little journey. We're gonna talk a little trash, man. I found there was a list. There's a list out right now. There are people making AI images of things that I don't understand. Why are you making AI images of things? I don't know. We'll talk about that a little bit. Everything is scary around the world. Bad Bunny, I got forced to register for a Bad Bunny concert that I'm not going to attend. Whatever. Also, I'm gonna get my NBA predictions. My NBA predictions. Um, what kind of fan I am. A Heat fan. Heat and six. You know how I do. You know how I do. I got the blue microphone. About to switch it out before I talk. Got the blue microphone before I switch it out before I talk. Let's see. We're gonna go red. Switching it out, y'all. Switching out. It's been switched. We went red, y'all. We went red for y'all. Gonna turn down this theme song. Shout out to Infrared Crypto on the beat. Infrared Crypto. Gonna turn this down, man. Welcome everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Open Mic Radio Podcast. Today's date is October 24th, and it is 11:44 p.m., which means when this episode drops, it'll be tomorrow because today is Tuesday, obviously. Tomorrow will be Wednesday. I like to keep you guys abreast of the situation at hand. And you know what? I decided that I'm going to step back into the stage of comedy. If you know what I've been through, I've been doing a lot of the background work. I've been booking comics and things of that nature for the last 2 years. So periodically, I haven't been on stage, but I'm getting back on stage, getting back telling jokes, getting back to what I love to do, which is telling jokes. No special guests at all, but I do shout out to Angel Penn. He worked out, did some shit at the Warner Theater for Live Nation. That was cool watching one of my proteges, one of my colleagues, one of my friends do his thing on stage, and it just motivated me, man. Made me go back and break out the pen, break out the notebook, break out the paper, write some words on paper, see how it feels. I went to the Electric Palm and I told some jokes. I worked on some bits. I've been doing some of the bits I've been testing them out on the social media to see if they got legs. Real quick, if you give me a thumbs up, I automatically believe you're a hater and you don't want me to be successful. Don't be lazy. Hold that thumb down. When you hold that thumb down on Facebook, it's going to give you a myriad of options. It's going to be a heart. It might be a care sign. It might be a smile sign. And it might be a laughter sign. Feel free to laugh. Feel free. And feel free to share. Like and subscribe. All right. Shout out to all my YouTube watchers as well. Today is the beginning of the NBA season, which means teams like the Milwaukee Bucks you got new people in new places. You got Damian Lillard at the Milwaukee Bucks. You got Kevin Durant, who was already a Phoenix Sun, actually starting a full season with the Phoenix Suns. You got Chris Paul with Golden State. I'm currently watching that game right now, and right now Phoenix is up by 5 points. Looking forward to this year's NBA season. Jordan Poole's a Washington Wizard. I'm not a Wizards fan, but the Wizards are the gateway to get to see Miami Heat twice this year. So in order for me to watch the Miami Heat, I got unless I go to Miami, which I'm not. I gotta wait till they come to Washington, and that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna fake it till I make it, y'all. I'm gonna fake it like I'm a big Washington Wizards fan. I'm not. I'm a Miami Heat fan. I predict that we're going to win around about 47 games this year. 47 games this year. We're going to win about 47 games. We're going to get to maybe the third or fourth seed in the playoffs. And we're going to see where we go from there, man. The East is pretty powerful this year. We got Drew Holiday in the Celtics. You got Kristaps Porzingis for the Celtics and Drew Holiday. They're going to be a real strong team, defensively and offensively, especially with Drew Holiday being able to guard multiple positions, which is going to make it really hard for us as a Miami Heat fan who did nothing this offseason but signed R.J. Hamilton to a two-way contract. That was our big free agency news. And we got Josh Richardson. We got him back in a Miami Heat uniform. Outside of that, there's no big major news, no names. We kept Tyler Hero. So we'll see where we go from there. Okay, not gonna lie, not very confident. Don't really feel good about where we at. Don't like how everything is going, but we'll see where we at. I do want to talk about. Because I didn't, as always, I never come prepared with anything of any substance, and sometimes I'm surprised that you all listen to my listen to this podcast sometimes because I'm like, wow, people listen to this podcast. I saw on the social media that a woman went on a first date with a man, and said man took said woman to the Cheesecake Factory, to the Cheesecake Factory to for a pretty decent dinner date. Now, for me, I'm like, you know what? That's Cheesecake Factory, we lit. In the video, she decided that, hey, why not record this and talk about it, right? She recorded it, and then she refused to get out of the car because it was Cheesecake Factory. And she recorded it, and dude basically said, all right, cool, you want to come to Cheesecake Factory? The date is over with. We're done here. We're finished. Okay. And then there was a part 2 of that video where, of course, in part 2 video, she was like, oh, I can't believe you're making me get out of I can't believe you're taking me back home because I didn't want to go to Cheesecake Factory. Who takes a first date to Cheesecake Factory? And I'm not going to lie, man. I would have took a first date to Cheesecake Factory. We went with the Cheesecake Factory for a little bit. I would let you order the dessert. I got you a cheesecake. They got pretty decent desserts at the Cheesecake Factory. I don't know why Cheesecake Factory is catching strays. I didn't know there was so much vitriol towards the Cheesecake Factory. I didn't know there was so much hate towards the Cheesecake Factory. I don't know what Cheesecake Factory did to the Black community. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I don't understand what the problem is in Cheesecake Factory. And I put it on my Facebook status. A list that was curated by a group of Black women, and basically I cropped it because I didn't need all the extra foolishness on there. But I'll pull up the photo, and basically it reads, here's the list of places women absolutely refuse to go on at first date to. Thank you to the ladies who reached out to me to help me on my list. And then it said, gave the list of 28 places, and it said, wake up, babe. New laundry list of places men can't take you on a date. Just dropped. I have no idea why they added Ruby Rose on the meme, like she was the one who said this, but she's easy on the eyes, so I digress. I see like 4 dates. All right, so I'm going to react to each one. It's 28 of them. That should take us to the 30-minute hour. Half 30 minutes. Number one, Cheesecake Factory. I don't get it. I don't understand the vitriol. I don't understand the hate. I think the first day at Cheesecake Factory is a win. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? It's not too much. It's not too cheap. It's like right in the middle. You got dessert, you got drinks, there's a bar. I don't understand it, but whatever. Also on this list, before I go to number two, actually, this I should have went from 28 to number one. So as you know, Cheesecake Factory is number one. Some of these places are obvious places not to take a woman on a date, but I didn't know it needed to be said. But here we are. All right, so number 28 is sports events. That's a little rude. I don't get that. Why would you not want to take a woman to a sports event, especially if you in the conversation, right? In the conversation, you find out that she's a big, let's say, for example, Miami Heat fan, and you have Miami Heat tickets, and you're like, hey, I got tickets to the Miami Heat game. Do you want to come? What's the problem with that? I don't know. Number 27, the Waffle House. Honestly, this is self-explanatory. Why would you want to get in a fight on your first date? Why would you want to risk showing that you may or may not know how to fight on a first date at the Waffle House? How much drinking do you plan on doing prior to on the date that requires Waffle House? Number 26, a bar just for drinks. That's confusing. Why wouldn't you want to go to a bar just to have drinks to get to know one another? Number 25, a hookah bar. I mean, that's confusing as well. I don't know why you wouldn't want to go to a hookah bar, but I mean, what if she's in a hookah? Again, how you get to know somebody if you can't go to a bar for drinks or a hookah bar, which leads to number 24, nightclubs. This is self-explanatory because nightclubs is that's like bringing fish to the water. Why would you bring sand to the beach? I don't know. Number 23, bowling. This seems like we're just running out of ideas. 2022, somewhere that requires a long drive. This is self-explanatory because why would you want to take somebody on the first date on a long drive unless you plan on being a kidnapper? That's kind of creepy. Movie night, 21. There's movie night, Netflix, Hulu, etc. That makes sense. Why would I want you in my house? At 21. 20, family functions. True. Why would I want that? Now my mom makes a bomb ass macaroni and cheese. So I might want you to come through for the food, whatever, like just a friend. If you ain't doing shit, like why not? Just come through. But I guess you don't want to beat the family that fast. And I get that. So number 19, ice cream dates. And this is a big one. I actually agree with this. Some women would not admit they're lactose intolerant, but they all love ice cream. So I don't understand why I wouldn't want to risk any accidents on an ice cream date, if you pick up my drift. 18, a coffee date. Who's waking up that early for a coffee date? Some of this stuff is redundant. Number 17, Starbucks. That's the same thing as a coffee date. Confusing, unless you want to do some work or something. 16, church. You got to be a heathen unless you meet this woman in church and you're like, hey, you want to come to my church home? Number 15, the gym. That's saying a lot without saying anything. Like, hey, bring your fat ass to the gym, woman. That's weird. That's rude. Number 14, I don't know why 14 ain't next to number 27, Denny's. What grand slam are you trying to eat on this date? And how old is this person you're taking on a date with? How old is this person? Number 13, IHOP. Okay, cool. Respect. 12, a buffet. Okay, that's respect. There's no such thing as a really good buffet. Again, how old is this person you're on a date with? Because some older people like the buffet. The buffet be dropping off. Number 11, Red Lobster. Honestly, I'm not a Red Lobster person, so yeah, I'm not fucking with Red Lobster. Number 10, Wingstop. Wingstop is weird. Why would you take anybody on the first date? That's rude. Number 9, Buffalo Wild Wings, which is right next to Wingstop. Self-explanatory. Number 8, any fast food chain. Okay. Number 7, your house. What creep are you? How creepy are you? Number 6, the movies. Why would you want to go to the movies on the first date? Why is this a problem? Number 5, Olive Garden. Okay, respect, understand. Number 4, Chipotle. Again, that kind of goes with the ice cream date. Number 3, Chili's. Facts. Number 2, Applebee's. And number 1, like I specified, was Cheesecake Factory. You know what's funny about this whole list is some of these places that's named on the list are some of the same answers when you get a group of guys together and they ask where the hoes at. They normally name something on this list. Hey man, where the hoes at? Hey, they in church. These are facts. I've heard these answers before. If you ask where the hoes at, it's like, where are they at? In the gym, at church, at Starbucks, at nightclubs, at hookah bars, at the bar for drinks. These are all places where the hoes are supposedly located at. I don't understand how I don't understand who made this list. I don't understand their motivation behind said list. And at this point, when you name 28 places where they can't go and they all intersect with one another, you got to ask yourself, where the hell can you take any woman according to this list? Where can you go? So I have some ideas. You could take her if you're in Washington, you take her to the monuments. That's not on the list unless that's number 29. Hey, you want to go on a walk to the monuments? That's cool. There's Chart House for food. Chart House has scenery. National Harbor has not made the list. Just take her ass outside. That's really what it seems like. Let's just go outside. Let's just go outside and just figure out one another. But you can't talk. So I don't understand this list. This is confusing. This is the list where you ask her, hey, where the hell you want to go? And then she's probably going to tell you, I don't know. And then you read off this list and she's going to and just wait for her to answer. And I guarantee you she's going to say something on this list. She's going to say something on this list. She has to. Like she has to. It's impossible. There's no way you can avoid this list. Because nobody knows you, there's nowhere to go. And 9 of the times you ask her what you're trying to do, you can't go, according to this list. And then she's probably going to ask you, well, you plan it out. But how can you plan it out if you're following this guideline, this list? You know, a hotel didn't make the list. Hotels didn't make the list. So I don't understand how church made the list, but not the hotel. This list is very confusing. And I don't subscribe. I'm glad I'm out the game because this is a weird ass list. Like, how can I plan a date and I already know I can't take you to the movies? Game night didn't make the list. So we can have a game night unless it's a family function, or is at your house. So what is that with a friend's house? Can you do game night at a friend's house? This is so confusing. So sports events you can't go to. What does a pickup basketball game count as a first date? This list is fluid. Honestly, if you look at this list is fluid, and I don't understand. I know I keep saying I don't understand, but I'm looking at it now and I'm reading it. But like, unless she specifies Applebee's, Chili's, Red Lobster, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So this is what I don't. This is tough. You know, this kind of goes back to when I was like, I talk about on stage how men can't accept rejection. But this is tough because there's a lot of pressure on the first date, for especially if a woman is really feeling you. She's going to ask you to plan this out. And she already eliminated 28 things that all intersect. You go to the mall and eat in the food court because the mall is not on this list. And the food court is not on the list of things. So you can eat some cheap ass Chinese food and get some free samples. This list is weird. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to take you. And if I ask you where you want to go, you're probably going to name something on this list. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. Mm, mm. I'm gonna do some thinking. What if we record TikToks is now on the list? So what if we just watch? What if we went to the mall, sat in the food court, and watch TikTok videos together? Can we do that? Mm, mm. Can we do that? I think we could do that. Watch TikTok videos and look at the list, and record TikToks in the food court, in the food court, and look at TikTok videos. We can do that. I know that's what we can do. We'll go to the food court. Actually, we go to a car dealership. We can look at cars. We look at cars that I'm not going to buy, or we're not going to buy, and then we can watch TikTok videos in a PT Cruiser. You know what else didn't make the list? Comedy shows. Boom, that's fun. You go to a comedy show. That didn't make the list. Comedy shows are fun. You go to a comedy show, and boom, go to a comedy show. Go to the comedy show, but don't eat because the club food might be trash. And go to the comedy show, and then bring your own food, and then everybody brings their own food. Bring your own food. Go to the comedy show. Eat before that, and then don't buy any drinks with you, and go home, but not your home or any house. Y'all go in y'all separate directions because that didn't make the list. Yeah, go to a comedy show, bring your own food and your own drinks. Y'all eat them in separate cars. Go to the show, and then y'all just leave because there's no conversation need to be had during these dates. That's it. I just want to come up here and tell you there's 28 places you can't go. I read them, and I gave men an answer because it was asked, what can we do? And I just told you what you could do. Go to a comedy show. That's it. Just like this podcast. This is it. That's all I got. I'm asking us to talk to y'all next week. I'm gonna record tomorrow, but I want to put some stuff out there. And here we are. I want to thank you all for listening. I love you all, and good night.